Well, Tom and they didn't back, this time with The Legend Reborn. Yes, I got the original and this, HMV edition. The reason I got two is because I'll explain why when I get inside to the stuff. Okay, the case, released 4 years after, I know, and released 4 years after, I know why this is a bit different than this film series, because if you remember, Miramax was in charge for this film series. This is by a different studio, and Wikipedia called it a reboot, even if it's not. But the reason they say it is because the beginning is a bit different than how they explain. The beginning and the story is a bit different than the way they did in the Mask of Light story. Let's go over it. As you know, the case design, the teaser, it's officially like the teaser where he used to look up and we see the full power of the shield, and this was the same font as this, and that was there, and it's a bit purplish. Now the finalized is the same background spot, but then looking down, we see this part of the shield. That's there. The scroll is now real, rather than like it's now realistic detail than a cartoon detail. Well, too bad I can't even find the teaser version cover to show you, but I'm sure you guys can find the teaser cover on Google Images and compare it to this. And they add some blade clashes going around there. And this is still Trajan Pro. I found this out in high school. I found this font in high school when I was 6th form. So I found out this is called Trajan Pro, but other than that, everywhere else doesn't have that at all. No, this is back in the official cover. This is his own unique font. This is his own font. What I mean is that look at the B on this and look at the B on this. You can see a difference. And if you look at the cover, I found out the difference in December. I found this out in December 4 years ago. Oh, so yeah, same depiction as the advertisement. United Kingdom's add-up is these, and HMV's add-up is this. And I know the difference of all regions now. Australia has a giant PG bar and has this banner placed to it, which is not a sticker but a permanent, but a cover print, and like this one is. As you can see side by side, you can see the original version is like a regular case design, and you can see the HMV version is like a wider size. And the enquiry numbers are different, 827295 and 82712311. And the back has Martin Nui and Tuma hitting their blades. Which, the scene like this did happen in the film. Kind of how equivalent to how, which, when I get to the Dark Knight Rises, I can show you that there's a possibility that this is also the same. And the setting of the creator of Biomagna and the view of Aquamagna, of course that's a different background. That ain't the only thing. Dark Knight Rises, you saw, is in the United Kingdom. The cover, the back is also, they're setting a different background too. The plot about the film, of how they come to life in this thrilling, action-packed adventure, where Martin Nui now has a journey to free his people from evil, if he succeeds to adapt well enough in Biomagna and become a trained fighter. Another artwork of a Scarab Shield, and this is the only film image, which is the real film scene, the official film scene, where it has the Bone Hunters ready to chase the Glatorian in Sandre Canyon. And what tipped me off is that because they used Attackers' form instead of the actual Pharaoh forms, that leads me to think that they chose the Attackers versions to become that. And 5 bonus features, whereas the United States didn't count the 5th bonus features, the advertisements, because these advertisements played before the root menu, and they're nowhere to be selected. But the Dark Knight and stuff, it did count as a bonus feature, even if it's not found anywhere to select. It's just to let us know the stuff to check out, to expect coming. Like the Lego Adventures, I know that is the Clutch Powers film that was released 3 years ago. I have that film, but it's going to take me a while to try and re-understand the film. Then I'll think about reviewing it. But if I understand the film every day, then I'll think about reviewing the film, as well as Transformers and stuff. The Glatorian Legends commercial, and that's it. And the credits, as you can see, it says Tints of Time presents Bionicle, Reborn and stuff. The credits that this film has, as you can see, with these films, they don't have credits at all. See Mask of Light, see Legends of Metro Nui, you see Web of Shadows, they don't have credits at all. But this film does. I don't know, either I'm not sure the reason why Miramax does it. Either it's because as a mini major studio they couldn't afford to do that, or rather because it's a Disney distributed these films. films, and for some Disney animated films, they don't put credits in at all. And because this was the only trilogy orchestrated, there was not of a luck that it's much like every film's out there. But at least with this film, we do have something. We do have a Bionicle film that does have the credits printed on it. Copyright detail and of course different. You can see there's a 3-year-old not allowed to choke and hazard thing, and it's not on this because this cover is one of the covers saying it contains a toy inside, the click set inside. Films announced in its approximate. Good thing it's PG in the United Kingdom and Australia, and Canada and Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. But what tipped me off is it says it's not in the United States, even though the United States it should be, alongside with Hero Factory and all the other Lego stuff, Lego based on films around the world. Because films like this, there are contents in the film that they're not safe for younger kids to watch. So they should have put it at a PG suggested on the US import of this film. For United States fans who are watching this and you do have this film, you know what I mean. When you see Legomation's review of this, he points out that the film's not rated, even though it should be rated at PG suggested in the United States. But enough complaining about that. I'm sure everyone knows that. And this one has the same exact amount as this, so we'll open this up instead. And we'll open this up after for what I reveal. Okay. We have a booklet, which is a one large book that fits to the size of the case. The Glatorian legends on it, and the centerfold is a one fold. And the centerfold has all the Glatorian legends on the Atero stairs, the Agori on the right hand, and the vehicles and I got all the legends so far, and all the Agori, and one vehicle, which is this. It's gonna take me a while to re-afford this, but they're not in stores anymore. The only close I can get is eBay for bigger money for that. Lego Coupon Tickets Legoland, United States has more advertisements than that. Like the Clutch of Powers advertisement instead of like graphic novels. This is I got from HMV, which it gives me a luck to get this set because we could have something that comes about we could have a guy who comes with Matanui. Of course, size comparison for the Titan Matanui that we got with the Golden Mask of Life, it doesn't adapt well enough to the film. Neither does it affect to the Canvas division of Matanui. The only thing it could adapt well is human beings having it on his shoulder. I did this 4 years ago. Putting the click guy on my shoulder, and it does adapt to the size. Meaning we humans are the ones who have to play like Matanui if we're gonna make this like the film. And so, yeah, HMV released as a deal, whereas Walmart in the United States released the third Glatorian comic with the different front, with the different back, with a different cover. And Australia doesn't license any stores, but tries to get payment games to play with. And before the film came out, I knew the disc on this would be like the front case, where you can see Matanui there, and you can see it like this. Only in the United Kingdom we get to see this, because Australia the disc was plain, and the labels are a bit black. Plain, I mean like. If you can see, if I could get this out, it looks like this. Yes, and the labels are black, and you can barely read the see the Tinsel Townsend's logo. You could barely read that. And the United States just decides to associate this page to put the scrawl, you know the Valley of the Maze is pattern from the Skrull shield, that kind of thing. Which I thought they were going to put a Scarabax print in the center of it, but they didn't. They removed the Scarabax plate in the center and colored it blue. Which I do kind of agree to people that they should have been black and... I do agree to the United States fans, it should be black and red. Because that way, the name Bionicle could adapt its gold color to it. Because if it was blue, it couldn't adapt the color, so instead it was white. So... Yes, I'm from the United Kingdom, but I still kind of agree to the United States of some things that they wanted to point out about the design of the cover and the disc and stuff. Oh, and one more thing about it is because if you can see here, you could see a bit. If I could get rid of the lighting of the camera, do you see that white line there? It's kind of hard to point out. See this line, if I could just, here we are. If you can see this line there, and this line here, that's because I almost broke the disc on accident. That's why I re-picked up this to make sure to serve as a spare disc. This has been used most of the times, whereas this one was whereas I repeated this one so many times since 4 years since I've been playing this film. So yeah, it's because this button here was the most hardest part. But yeah, that's all. That's most possible detail about the film. We'll go over a story plot about it. Once we get right on the next part coming up.